Hello, YouTube. Welcome on in. I am Shep Targaryen. I am going to be doing this beautiful little recap of episode 2 of the beautiful House of the Dragon. I always nearly call it the wrong name, but nonetheless, spoiler warning, this will have some elements of probably episode 1, heavily talking about episode 2, and obviously some predictions towards the end, and also last talking point will be like one little dig which has been noticed by me and a few others. Right, with spoiler warning done, without any further ado, let's get into it. So, um, first off the bat, we have the actual intro of House of the Dragons. Oh my gosh. The music, obviously, most of us know that music because Game of Thrones. Yep, when Game of Thrones was getting on and adapting and adding onto their intro to the point where it got its full length, it's nearly the same length. Because I checked this out, it's nearly the same length, so it's nearly the exact same one used for season 8. Obviously, we don't really talk about season 8 too much, but it's near enough the exact same one. And the visual aspect, where you've got the blood pouring down, going through Old Valyrian. Because I believe it's Old Valyrian, that good old um, King Viserys talks about with his beautiful structures, which the stonemaesters helped him out with. So you've got all that visual going in towards the end, where you've got the Targaryen fire with blood going in, because obviously it's based on the book of Blood and Fire. So that is very good. That is very interesting. Opening scene after that, we've got Crabman. Bit gory, but kind of cool. Seeing the crabs, the wounds, how people are obviously tied up, because it's all that focus, but it's actually interesting. Bit out there, but a bit interesting. So I kind of liked it. I'm not gonna lie. Towards the end, the what we see for them, is a little bit cooler than what we get at the start. But nonetheless, it's not too bad. Obviously, it would be nice to see a little bit more about it. See, like, is there an actual house? Are they just petty and just like crabs? All of that stuff. So we move on to actual different talking points. So I do have bullet points here. That's why I'm using like a notepad, and you see me referencing it quite a bit because it's easier to have something to talk about when you can actually see it. So Rhaenyra, first off the bat. Ooh, Rhaenyra, absolutely wonderful and amazing. I love how she was in episode 2, her progression, seeing about the mourning of her mother, and being helped out by her friend, Alicent Hightower. Obviously, there is other stuff to talk about Alicent, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But seeing her go through and progress, and the moment which I'll talk about in a bit with her own dragon, basically her kind of going to men, like when she was in the court at the start, and it was talk about the stone steps and how the beautiful Coralise Valerion would like aid, and just she goes around and goes, "Why are you sending envoys? We have dragon riders. Just fucking send a dragon. Come on, make it easy. Targaryen, show our strength. Just go dragon, and F you." But I mean, of course, she's a girl. She gets booted out of small court, sadly. So it's a shame because she has a lot of brilliant, smart ideas, but Small Court is just like, oh, this is all for men. As we kind of, obviously, from Game of Thrones, we know at least women have some form of power, and when they can be into it, some ideas are actually decent, obviously. Sadly, we had insane people take the thrones in Game of Thrones, but I mean, alas, I reckon if Rhaenyra could get on the Iron Throne, it should be amazing and wonderful. So we've got the High Towers to talk about, where we have Otto and Alicent. Otto going along when they went to Dragon's Reach due to Daemon having taken the egg and trying to take it back peacefully. Obviously, he was failing at doing his own job there. Otto is a shit hand. I'll be honest with you. He's like a dodgy mix between. Ooh, let me try and think of. You got Littlefinger in there, obviously. Like a more fictitious Littlefinger, which is really weird to say. As well as clearly there's some aspect of wanting personal growth, just like Tywin Lannister. I believe it's Tywin. Hopefully I've said it right. Yeah, it's Tywin because I always get Tywin mixed up with our beautiful, lovely little midget friend. by the way, I've only seen TV show. I haven't read the books, so I'm doing my best here. So yeah, his moments are, but you see the encounter, which obviously talk a little bit more about a bit later on because I'm saving it because I'm having a full talk section about that. And then you've got the Alyssum aspect of being forced by her father to go talk to the king. She's being nice. She's actually showing her growth. She seems introverted, shy, anxious, all of that. Like, she understands how everything goes, but she's got a kind touch. She has the understanding. When she starts opening up to the beautiful King Viserys, there's understanding there, which also does move us on to our next point, talking more about King Viserys, his growth, and the aspect with the marriage. So obviously we see some growth from him because getting over, like actually talking to his own daughter Rhaenyra about the death of his wife, and how everything was, and how he's actually mourning her, how as rightfully said back in those days, his bedchamber is a little bit cold. It's a little bit more gloomier over in the actual living area because obviously no wife, and does rightfully at least say it's not going to be the same. No one can replace her. That part was good. That was absolutely wonderful. Obviously, some moment with Rhaenyra where it seems like they're both kind of seeming like they're matching up towards the end because you see them really not having a moment because 6 months have passed since the passing. So 6 months in from episode 1 to episode 2, roughly. Um, from not talking about the passing of the mother, moving on to actually talking some acceptance. They're actually starting to become father and daughter, not just his king leadership bullshit. To also progressing to like, hang on, yeah, we have an understanding. But obviously, as it will get to, we know that's not really the bloody case. But yeah, Rhaenyra, she was really good for when he was out doing the walk with one possible aspect, which was from the Valerians, Princess Rhaenys and Coralie's daughter, who was a little bit too young. But I mean, it's one of those. Yeah, she's young, but as well, thinking of the time period, that shit would actually probably try to happen because stronger bloodlines and stuff like that, and better diplomacy. The only issue was obviously the fact for me they actually kind of fed words into her lips and kind of made her go, "Oh, but I will be absolutely amazing. It will strengthen our bond between our families. Also, my dad said that I'll help you give you many heirs, and my mother said I don't have to do anything until I'm at least 14. And it's like, ugh, no, 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 no. Hearing that from the child, no from me. Hello, sorry, had an audio issue on the other video. We're back. So yeah, carrying on from where it was left off. Yeah, big no from me from that. But obviously, King turns around and goes, "Hey, Rhaenyra, you know what? By the way, I'm marrying your best friend." Because he announces Alyssum Hightower to be the bride to be. Obviously, shocked to everyone, shocked from her. Her dad's clearly like, "Yeah, party! I'm winning. I'm getting my promotion." Obviously, we see the likes of Coralie's Valerion just like, "Fuck off! I'm out. You've just done the worst thing you could have done." And obviously, by Rhaenyra, perfection. The shock, the stun, the awe, the looks at her best friend, and then when asked by the king, Rhaenyra, Rhaenyra, are you okay? Just outburst into like tears are breaking in, and she just goes. She goes. That's it. She's done for. Um, so yeah, that's talking about the marriage aspect and everything else. Let's just go straight and talk about Daemon, because obviously I can't talk about some other points before I talk about Daemon. Daemon has some beautiful moments inside of this episode. Absolutely wonderful and amazing. Obviously, you've got him taking Dragon's Reach. Absolutely wonderful. Obviously, might be a little bit off on that name. So many places with dragon in their name. Dragon Reach, Dragon Spire, Dragon Tales, whatever. I'll correct myself for a later video. But yeah, you've got what happens there because after episode 1 he stole the egg, he rode off, he's taken that place with his gold cloak, so he's got his own little personal army, his own little guards, so he's doing his own thing. He's taken the Targaryen place of where they rightfully should be, because that's the Targaryen home area, so he's taken home, he's gone home, everything else. But you see Otto trying to, stop the king from doing outright war, and just goes there himself with the royal guards, royal and high guards, as well as the new appointed leader of the town guard. But they try and do it as peacefully and bloodless as they can. But then people start drawing swords because quips get passed back and forth. Then you see Daemon's dragon, absolutely just outstanding with its personality, approaching up from behind the mountainous rocks, just coming around, and then you just see everyone go, "Oh shit!" So that was really good, really impressive. And then all of a sudden, everyone's thinking, "We're doomed. This is a one-sided fight." And then they hear something down below. They look down. They look at the clouds. And then there's movement, and then out from the clouds breaks Rhaenyra just straight off on her dragon, just like, hello. Does a swoop around to kind of show, I'm here, this is my presence. Not to F up, we now have a dragon per side. Lands down and gets off while she's on the bridge because her dragon is small enough to land on the bridge at the moment. Goes up, she's told, hey, what are you doing here? Go back home. To which she basically replies back, just look after my dragon. By the way, she's very protective of me, so be careful of that. Watch yourselves. Very good point, because obviously this adds a lot of personality and depth to her dragon aspect. It's amazing, it's wonderful to see. To which we'll briefly talk on dragons afterwards. But yeah, they end up having their little talk out in Valyrian between Rhaenyra and the good old Daemon. Absolutely wonderful to hear. Valyrian's a little bit off from what I've been learning, so shout to Duolingo. Need to do that after this. But yeah, I think I heard a discrepancy at one point. It's like, hang on a minute, that word isn't meant for there, but oh well. To which it ends in no bloodshed, no harm. She gets back the dragon egg, which she rightfully named should belong to the pass away of what would be her brother. But alas, because Daemon's really been trying to stick it to his brother, being like, yo, you wanna rule me out for being your heir into the king? Fuck you. He's been doing a lot of good stuff for that. To where, obviously, as it was seen in the show, instead of just passing the egg or flipping out and starting a fight, because she did kind of egg him on saying, if you want the right to the throne, I've been named heir and you're going to have to kill me if you want to get on. He starts walking back and then just lobs the egg backwards and just like, fuck this shit. No, I'm annoyed. I'm pissed. Beautiful demonstration by Matt Smith. So yes, yeah, at least that ends in no blood issues at all. To where obviously when she gets back home, her father's like, "You shouldn't have gone. You were ordered to stay at home. You were ordered to stay here within the keep and all the safety." To where she's like, "I ended it without any blood loss. Otto, there would have been bloodshed." And the king's like, "You're right." To where it seems like they're on an equilibrium between obviously father-daughter. They're actually communicating. They've got something there. But like I said, they get to the marriage talk and it's like, yeah, fuck no. So obviously the dragons, beautiful, all individual personalities. I mean, from watching it and what I can see, that's obvious to tell because on the lights you've got Daemon who has got his dragon who's all like a bit mischievous, a little bit like I'm a cocky but I'm angry all the time, all that type of attitude. You've got the likes of Rhaenyra's dragon who is a little bit more graceful, a little bit more thoughtful it seems. Also, look-wise as well, there's little adaptations that have been changed, such as Daemon has extra wing sets at the back, at the two hind legs. Not really seen on others, but then Rhaenyra actually has flat tail. So it's showing a little bit more personalities of each dragon is unique and personal. So yeah, also I'm trying to think of other things. Oh yeah, we've also got Corlys and obviously guessing his wife, Princess Rhaenys, who seem to defect towards their side towards the end. Corlys is saying obviously how there's the fight going on at the stone steps, which is annoying, and obviously trade routes are starting to get blocked off due to Crabman. And obviously turns around and does a beautiful speech of how him and Daemon, they were second born. They're not seen to get anything. They're always second best. They have to prove their right to the throne and everything. Absolutely wonderful. So that shows obviously Corlys is kind of playing his hand. He's doing the best he can to get on the throne, especially because his wife, Princess Rhaenys, is literally Targaryen bloodline. She has a claim to the throne. Everything is there. It's just obviously people at the moment don't want to see a female on the throne. Obviously, Game of Thrones. Spoiler alert. We know women get on the throne, but yeah, alas. If I'm talking again about some other things, apologies. As well, some predictions, because I'll start wrapping this up now. If I missed anything, obviously apologies, but I believe I've covered most elements of this episode. You've got my predictions will be Daemon is going to go and do a little fight. I wouldn't call it a battle, I wouldn't call it a war or anything. He's going to go to Stone Steps, Dragon, Rain, Dragon Fire, probably Gold Cloaks, keeping up a flank, so if the Crabmen try and go out, boom, sword fighting. Basically, he's going to annihilate them, because we don't hear much about them in the future, if I'm not mistaken, unless it's a house which obviously we haven't been shown about or anything, because, I mean, for all we know, it could be a house which we know. It's just obviously this is a pre-formation and everything's a little bit different. But he's going to have a massive fight, wipe them out. Things are going to clash. Like, the king's going to be like, why the fuck did you do that? And he's like, I've shown strength, Targaryenhood. Well, fuck, okay, you're right, but you didn't do it under the name of the crown. Fuck you. All that stuff is going to kick off. Between Ray and, because I'm going to call her Ray for short, Ray and Alicent, their friendship is going to be rocky, but they're going to get back to it, but obviously it's not going to be the same as it used to be, which is a bit annoying because obviously they did prelude that there's possibly going to be something between them as more than friends, but that's not going to happen now because she's marrying her father. And for Ray, I predict there's going to be an evil moment or two where it's either or. So either there's going to be a few evil moments, or we're going to have it where she has a giant evil arc and she's just going to rain terror against her father. You know, the whole throwing the rattle out the pram, whatever you want to call it, and just absolutely going menacingly. But yeah, that concludes like roughly what I can think that I missed off for season 2 in this bit, and also a little bit of down talk. The wigs. The wigs went great. Let's be honest. We've seen good wig work. This isn't great wig work. I mean, shape it up a little bit. Come on, House of Dragons. We've got hope for this show. Shape up your wig work, please. Your dresses and your outfits on point. Wigs, come on, please, a little bit better. But yeah, that wraps it up. Obviously, if you did like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't like it, leave the dislike. Whatever, you know, it's giving me interaction. Also, leave a comment down below saying what you liked, what you think I could have expressed more on. Do you want an in-depth video about just the dragons on their own? Do you want in-depth talk about the Targaryen aspect, or different houses, and all that stuff? Or do you want to know about me learning about High Valyrian with Duolingo? You know, anything is playable on this book and table. That is it for now, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Peace out, and have the fire and blood go through your veins, and use it with might and power.